Banjo-Kazooie, a video game, hate it or love it still brings nostalgia. This N64 classic went into production in 1966 or 64. I'm not sure. I forgot the timeline, but I think it's 1998. Anyways, so Banjo-Kazooie is a nostalgic title by the company Rareware, who has made Donkey Kong, SNES games in the past, and Banjo-Kazooie was one of their best titles. Now, before Rare was purchased by Microsoft, Xbox it was in a pretty good state. Where if you look at Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts, you will see what Xbox did to it. Heartwarming here. Anyways, so Rare is basically a company which was owned by Nintendo until the 2000s at the point where Xbox purchased Rare. Anyways, Banjo-Kazooie is impossible to play if you have an Xbox One or in the original N64. That's your only way of playing the game. That's all you could do to play the game. There's no other way. But if you wanted to buy an Xbox One, well, you could to get Rare Replay. I don't think it's available on the Xbox One. You could use the virtual one. Anyways, if you want the original N64 with the original game, and I'm warning you, the N64 is overpriced nowadays. But basically, what I'm saying is, so the only way to play Banjo-Kazooie without actually owning these consoles are ROMs. Now, ROMs are essentially an archive of a certain game. And using for example, take Club Penguin Rewritten. It's a complete archive of the original Club Penguin. So if you wanted to play Club Penguin, that was your only way after its shutdown. So you would need a Banjo-Kazooie ROM hack. Now this comes in with the cases of Vim's Lair. Now, the website kind of looks like a dark web thing, but it's actually an innocent website. And when you enter Vim's Lair, I will link it in the description, you have to press the vault. The vault is a thing where it contains many consoles, like the first PlayStation, the second, and the third. Now, the N64 is the place where you'll find Banjo. Now, there's no Xbox games. If you wanted to try Vim's Lair for other games like Crash Bandicoot and other console games from different consoles, there's only PlayStation, Nintendo stuff in it. No Xbox titles at all. So yeah. Now Banjo N64 games I recommend, because the only emulator I really know for the N64 is Project 64, which is a highly recommended emulator you can use. Project 64 is an N64 emulator. Now there's other tutorials on how to do this, but basically let me explain how Vim's Lair works after the transition, and let me show you some step-by-step stuff. Anyways, guys, this is Vim's Lair. It's the preserve. Now, this kind of looks like a dark web, but this is just the design of the website. Don't worry, it's not anything sketchy. I tried playing Banjo, it works. It's just I was unable to play the game, kind of, because you need a controller. So a controller, if you have a controller, a PlayStation or a normal Nintendo controller or an Xbox controller can work, or buy a different controller, like a plug-in one, that would work as well. Right. So, now, to find Banjo, you go to the N64 part and stuff like that. Now, before you're like, okay, how do I play Banjo? You press the Banjo-Kazooie button, or if it's no longer on there, then search Banjo-Kazooie in the Find a Game. Now, since I'm on an iPad, you need to be on a computer to play the game. So you have to press the download button. Of course, it won't work on an iPad. And you'll also need a zip thing. Now you can watch another tutorial how to use the zip thing, like 7-zip. Use 7-zip or WinRAR or you could use WinRAR. Use either of them. And this is Project N64. This is the N64 emulator you will need to use. You download any version, download a working version, and stuff like that. Now, there is other emulators and stuff like that, but yeah. So yeah, this is what you can do. So if you found it, so basically, yeah. Now for you, those who are new to Banjo-Kazooie and do not know about the story of the game and are actually interested in playing it, I will explain the story in a second. Alright, now transition. Okay guys, so the story of Banjo-Kazooie is basically the Witch Gruntilda, as you can see on the screen. This is the final battle. She basically kidnaps Banjo and Kazooie's sister, Judy, blah blah blah. And yeah, basically the goal of the game is basically saving Banjo's sister and stuff like that. And the developers of the game made the game basically, because Mario 64 was probably at the time before Banjo came onto the scene was the most bought game on the N64, which I find crazy. And once Banjo came out, fun fact, it became one of in the UK. It was the most popular game when it first came out, literally. But it's been dethroned due to no Banjo games being made since 2008, and their most recent game in 2008 was actually pretty terrible, literally. If you saw JonTron's reaction to Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, he was pretty disappointed. So was the rest of the fan base. Now Banjo-Kazooie is in Smash now and stuff like that. But basically, Banjo-Kazooie had these collectibles called jiggies. Basically, they would progress you through different worlds. You would find them in every level. Like, you would need a certain amount to leave the world and go on to the next. And there's also things known as Jinjos, which you need to use during the final battle. Now there is a game similar to Banjo-Kazooie made by the same people who made it, but they formed their own company called Platonic Games. They made Yooka-Laylee basically, but I recommend the original Banjo-Kazooie. I feel like it's a better game. I mean, it has all the elements in that game is wonderful and unique. Yooka-Laylee did get rid of the elements, which did upset some Banjo fans like me. Playing the game was pretty fun for people at the time during the 90s. And yeah, and the second Banjo-Kazooie game, Banjo-Tooie, released in 2000, and then I believe 2 years later, Conker's Bad Fur Day, a game not for children by Rare. It has lots of swearing and crude stuff. It was made for the adults and stuff like that. Now,